yes, scholars know a lot about Islam. Someone who's learning knows quite a bit about Islam. But the average Muslim, the one who didn't learn Arabic and didn't study and get an ijazah and tajweed and didn't memorize the Quran and didn't sit in halaqat and went to normal regular school, went to college, university, went to Jummah on Fridays or whatever, right, and learned some basics about how to read the Quran, maybe even a little bit, learned the basics of the prayer. The average congregation that's coming to the Friday prayer or even the Eid prayer, even they know the basics. Everybody knows that in Islam alcohol is forbidden. Everybody knows in Islam that zina is forbidden, or that riba is forbidden. These are not complicated teachings. These are the basics that pretty much everybody knows. Every Muslim, knowledgeable or not, knows that there are 5 prayers in our religion, that there's a dress code in our religion, that there are certain guidelines about interaction between the genders in our religion, right? There are conditions, or there are rights of parents in our religion. There's such a thing as inheritance laws in our religion. We know these basics. Even if we don't know all the details, we know there are rules in place for some of these fundamental parts of life, right? But what happens in a society is that society often gets divided from the point of view of religious psychology, that some people consider themselves, let's just say they call themselves normal, or they call themselves liberal, or they call themselves, Muslim, but not too Muslim, right? And then they look at somebody who's practicing even a little bit more than them as too Islamic or too Muslim, or they're Muslim, etc. They get these kind of, or mullah or whatever, right? And so you get inside of a Muslim community those who identify themselves as not too strict, and they look at another as too strict. And then I already talked to you about the people that do practice. Many of them have very good character and actually embody the teachings of Islam, but many of them are learning Islam as a source of dominance and corruption within themselves. So even those who look like they're religious, look like they're practicing, can be a pretty bad example. But today, let's turn the tables on those who know even a little bit. They know a little bit. And they look at their behavior and they use that to justify to themselves, all these people with beards and all these women with hijab, they're all extreme, they're all crazy. I want to be nothing like them. I want nothing to do with them. And that's why I don't pray. Or that's why I don't go to the masjid. Or that's why I don't, all this stuff is extreme. And they may be doing, those people that you're criticizing may be doing something wrong. It's true. But for you and I to use that as an excuse to throw away the rest of Islam and say, none of it applies to me because those people are so messed up, right? And why would they do that? They already know something's, just because somebody else is corrupt or not, alcohol is still haram. It didn't become halal because a religious guy is corrupt. Right? What is wrong is still wrong. Whether or not somebody who prays 5 times, like for example, in my case, one time I was cheated in business very badly by a hafiz of the Quran. Right? He used to lead the Taraweeh prayers, a very religious guy. You would look at him and say, MashaAllah, right? You want to pray behind him. His qira'ah was really good, but he cheated like thousands out of me in a business deal many, many years ago, right? Now, I could use that as an excuse to say, all these hufad, I don't want to pray behind any of them. They're all corrupt. Forget it. I don't even want to memorize the Quran anymore because of this hafiz has scarred me from hifz. No, he hasn't. He's messed up. That doesn't mean the memorization of the Quran is not noble. That doesn't mean praying in the masjid isn't a worthy act. So what we do is, what I could do is, out of my spite for that person, I can use that as an excuse. They use the expression, throw the baby out with the bathwater. So throw Islam out along with the example of this corrupt Muslim, right? So now I'm justifying just abandoning all the teachings of Islam, while it's not that I don't know. I already know. I know what I'm doing is haram. I know it. I know what I'm supposed to do, and I'm not doing it on purpose, but I'm using my spite against this person, that I don't want to make them feel like I want to be like them. I want nothing to do with them. My spite against them is actually my own baghi.